Oh, Max is making a little appearance in my video. It's such a goodie. Okay, he wants to get down. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and today's video is going to be a bit different from the other ones on my channel. I thought I would film a bookish slash a little bit of a lazy girl summer vlog. I have been struggling to film a video the past 2 weeks, and it's mostly because my husband and I received some not so great news, which I think I do want to share at some point, just I'm not ready to share it here in this vlog. And all I've been really wanting to do is nothing. And aside from nothing, I've also been really wanting to read. I've been binge watching a bunch of Haley Pham's vlogs, all of her book videos, as well as Sarah Caroli, I think is her name, and Nicole Liano, I think, had like 1 or 2 book videos that I just like became utterly obsessed with. I have to search her channel to see if she has any more, because I just like immediately fell in love with her, just her aesthetic, and of course she had like some very cute nails on in that video, so you know, I'm here for it. I think the fact that I actually want to read and film this reading vlog is something that I need to listen to. I was gonna say take advantage of it. It's good, right? And it's probably what I need at this time. Just something to balance out that feeling of nothingness. I know it sounds so dramatic. I'm not ready to share it here because I'm still gathering my thoughts around it. I feel like my whole channel is starting to move into this bookish vibe, and instead of trying to make sense of it, I'm just going to embrace it and see where it takes me and takes us on our journey together. So this is just going to be a compilation of fun, bookish, also a little bit of lazy girl things, because that's where I'm at right now. So I'm still working on Anna Karenina, which I mentioned in my previous video. I did a little book haul if you want to see it, so I'll have that linked in the cards somewhere up here and in the description box below. I am, let's see, I'm 524 pages in, so this is what we got left. Initially, when I started this book, I was feeling pretty enthusiastic. It is a book that is referenced in Gilmore Girls, one of my favorite shows of all time. So for that reason, and that reason alone, I jumped right in. And then it started to slow down, and I think it was just, I was dealing with a lot of things in my reality that prevented me from really diving into the story. Like somewhere towards the middle, it started to slow down, and then I got into the spicy book niche, or you know, started to learn more about it, and just didn't feel invested in this story. But because I am somewhat of a committed reader, I didn't want to start one of my spicy books in that book haul that I shared in my previous video, because I feel like I need to stay the course. I need to finish one story before starting the other. Story has actually picked up quite a bit. I'm very much enjoying it. Let me see, is there anything that I can share that won't spoil it? Anna Karenina's son, he is doing lessons with his father and sort of just reflecting on everything that's happened. So I know that's kind of vague, but if you've already read it, then it will give you an idea of where I'm at in this book. So I figured I'd do some reading today and just kick back, relax, snuggle with Max for a little bit, and then we'll go from there. So something that I started doing again recently that I used to do when I was reading more actively, you know, so many years ago, is writing down the definitions of words that I come across while reading that I'm unfamiliar with. I decided that after much back and forth, I would do that in my reading journal. So one of the words that I just came across is antediluvian, and we are going to look that up right now and put it in our little reading journal. Let me show you my little spread that we got going here. It's pretty simple. I didn't do anything too fancy, and I only started doing this recently. So I feel like had I started doing it at the beginning of the book, then I would have a lot more. But, you know, it's better late than never. Some people had commented on one of my videos asking about this pen. This is my TWSBI VAX 700R Iris. We're gonna do the old school YouTube thing, try to get it to focus. There we go. And right now I have it currently inked with Pilot Konpeki. And this is the pen and ink that I have used for the past several months, like February, March, April, May, June, July, August, like almost 5-6 months. And I haven't used anything else. If I am using a different pen, it's like a gel pen, and it's usually to jot down like a quick note or to give some sort of variation in my bullet journal spreads. But this has been my go-to pen and ink. Oh, and it's in an extra fine nib. While we're chatting here, I do want to show you guys my little bookmark because I think it's quite cute and that you guys might like to see it. Let me just make sure I don't lose my page here. So this is the bookmark that I made. I think it's very kawaii. So these two main pieces are just from like, what is it? Like the backing. It's the package for hair clips that I got from Daiso. And I glued them back to back and added some washi tape and some stickers. And then I looped through this gold ribbon twine so that I could have like a hanging little tassel. It's not much of a tassel, but it's like a little baby one right there. There we go. I have a little tassel to my bookmark, and I love that I made this. It's so cute, and you know, the two pieces of cardstock, you know, glued back to back are actually quite sturdy. So that's my kawaii bookmark. Despite still feeling a bit down, I was able to get a lot of stuff done this morning, so that was great. I did all my household chores and then also had a chance to update some ledgers and balance my books for this business, so that was long overdue. And I feel like now I've earned myself some reading time. So last night my camera died, unfortunately, but I read for quite a bit last night. I want to say maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours-ish, on and off. and I got to page 574, 575 last night. So that was about 50 or so pages. That doesn't sound or feel like a lot based off of the time that I spent reading last night, but I'm trying to give myself a bit of grace. I am just now really getting back into this great pastime of reading, and I can't compare my reading speed to where it was back then when I was really just actively and voraciously reading. And also, I have to look up a lot of words in this book and have been taking time to write them down, as I shared with you yesterday, and there are a lot of like footnotes in the back that I have to reference. I also anticipate that I'm going to feel very sad to say goodbye to Anna and the rest of the characters in this book, because I'm really starting to like them, and it's getting easier to read this book. Of course, now that we're almost 600 pages in and only, 200, 300 pages left. I would love to be able to include this in my August reading log / wrap up in my reading journal and possibly a video, but we've got that much left, and I just don't know. I do have about 2.5 hours before the hubby gets home from work, so we're going to be using that time to dive back into Anna Karenina. So last night I read about how Anna went to watch Patty, and there was a bit of a scene that came up because of her choice of appearance, and I don't want to spoil it, because I do think that if you're interested in reading this book, that you should not really know at all what's gonna happen, and you should just go along for the ride. But if you've read it, again, hopefully that gives you enough context. I'm not really sure there's much else that I can say without giving it away, but we are also at Levin's place. So we're witnessing some interesting interactions between some of the characters. Before I forget, I made the mistake of signing up for both Audible and Kindle Unlimited. I don't know how I made that mistake. I was basically just trying to sign up for Audible, but ended up signing up for Kindle Unlimited as well. So I have, I believe, 1 credit for each. I think I have until the middle of next month before those credits expire. I honestly am unsure of how it all works. I just know that I would like to use those credits because I have them. So for Audible, Kindle Unlimited, I don't have a Kindle, but from what I understand, you can just use it on like any smart device. For Audible, I would really like to focus in on a great narrator, because I'll be listening to the story and I just feel like it's a different experience versus reading something. When I'm reading something, I can kind of develop and create like my own unique voice of narration as it pertains to the book. But when we're talking audiobooks, like it needs to be like sublime. The person that's narrating the story needs to just be like such a good fit. So I feel like I'm going to be a little bit more picky trying to figure out how I should use my credit for Audible. But again, please leave me your recommendations for how I should use my Audible credit as well as my Kindle Unlimited credit. Thank you.
I gotta say it twice, it ain't my fault. Every little thing got a price, that's what I thought. That's what they taught. Yeah, I'ma take my chance till I drop. You know this ain't the time for the two of us. Ooh, I ain't got space to be thinking about growing older. Done my thinking, me and you. Yeah, guess it's over. It was a rainbow, but was sinking. Lost my hue. I might come running back when our hearts get back on track. When the stars line up, that's that. I've been attached, just looking out. We move so fast, was moving south. My secret sauce, boo in and out. Miss how you gloss that pretty mouth. You know this ain't the time for the two of us. Ooh, I ain't got space to be thinking about you.
Gloss that, love it when you toss it back, love it when you talk back. Girl, you get me off track, so off-white tracksuit, just so I can floss, yeah. With my new biddy, she ain't let my soft yet. Could've been you, still feeling on my ditty, but you lost that. You had real privileges for this, all snap. Now you getting time out, cause you hit it where my heart's at. Got me going deeper than Amari when that ball snap. Heard you sold your soul on Macari, got you call lacking. Now I'm next door, at the party while you jaw jacking. You know it's Rashad, in the rarest and the raw fashion. I'm still trying to figure how this all happened, huh?
You know this ain't the time for the two of us. Ooh, I ain't got space to be thinking about you. You know this ain't the time for the two of us. Ooh, I ain't got space to be thinking about you.
Okay, we're gonna stop at page 586. Didn't read for that long just because I had to go feed Max. He was getting a bit restless and ready for some food. And then I was ready for some food. So I figure I'd take this opportunity to talk about some books that I've added to my Barnes & Noble cart. I am trying to tread cautiously as far as acquiring too many books at once because I still have that whole stack that I shared in my previous book haul that I need to get to, and I'm still working on Anna Karenina, which is a book that I picked up a couple months ago. Granted, I was reading it on and off and have now just recently started to read more consistently. so many factors, and then, you know, just trying to deal with life. I saw that Barnes & Noble was doing a buy one, get one 50% off. And just for funsies, I started to add things to the cart. And this shopping cart has changed at least 3 or 4 times now. And it will probably change quite a few more times. Again, no immediate plans to hit checkout, but you know, a girl can dream. So first thing in my cart is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. As I had mentioned at the beginning of this vlog, I have become absolutely obsessed with Haley Pham's vlogs. And I was a big fan of hers, like in the beginning, because she also has a dance background like myself. I think she has like way more experience, but just being able to identify with her on that and then seeing that she's now like really into books, it just seemed like all of the stars were aligning. So after binge watching a bunch of her videos, I saw this author come up quite a bit in the videos that I have watched from her. In particular, Lock Every Door, I believe it is a book that she read. And I think, if I can recall from her synopsis, she was saying that it was about this girl who basically gets paid to like house sit or apartment sit, just like look after this location, and it's very strange because she's getting paid a lot of money to do so. Yeah, so the question really is like, why is she being paid so much to watch over this place? It just doesn't seem to match up. I believe that Haley explained it a lot better in her video, but the fact that she talked so enthusiastically about Riley Sager, I think there's another book that she had read. It's like The House Across the Lake. I think that's also by Riley Sager. So I was looking for that one, couldn't find it under the buy one, get one 50% off, but Lock Every Door is buy one, get one 50% off. So that's how it ended up in my cart. And while I haven't really read any thrillers like at all, I think. Maybe one psychological thriller in my lifetime. I love the idea of it, and I want to get into that genre. So there's that. And then, of course, as we all know, this is kind of what got me back into reading books, the spicy book genre. I have added Electric Idol, which is the second in the Dark Olympus series by Katie Robert. So the first one is Neon Gods, and I have yet to read that, but Electric Idol, I can't remember who it follows. Follows Eros and Psyche? Is that how you pronounce it? Ooh, feistiness, passion, conviction. Those are some buzzwords from the synopsis. And I mean, if I like Neon Gods, assuming that I read that book before I purchase any of the books in my cart, then, it will be great that I already have Electric Idol here. I do remember Haley saying that Ninth House was a bit darker than what she expected, so I'm a little bit weary just because I'm not sure like how far I can go in terms of like dark literature. But we're just, this is the time to explore. So the reason why I added Ninth House to my cart is because it's set at Yale University, and because I love Gilmore Girls, and if you've watched the show, then you know that Yale University ends up being a big part of the show later on, and that's really the only reason that I needed to add this to my cart. I think there's some paranormal activity and some mysterious history set at Yale University in the story, but that's really all that I know about it. And there we go. That's Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. That's all I know about it. Next up, I have added The Secret History by Donna Tartt. And surprise, surprise, this is another recommendation that I got from Haley Fam's videos. And I think I remember her describing this as like a dark academia, same as Ninth House. The overview says that this is an accomplished psychological thriller, absolutely chilling. She did rate this book sort of second in her dark academia lineup. I just can't remember second to what. But this was also in the buy one get one 50% off. That's all I really know about the book. And I think the cover looks kind of cool. So there's that. And last but not least, I have The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath here in my cart as well. Now, I feel like I read this when e-readers like first came out. I can't even remember what my e-reader is called. This was like before Kindle, but I had one of those, and I remember like there were some free or like heavily discounted books, and I believe that Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath was one of those free / heavily discounted books, and I downloaded it. And I believe I read it, but I just can't really remember too much about it. So that's why this one is also in my cart. So I only have 5 books in my cart. I would need to add one more to really take advantage of the buy one, get one 50% off. So I am currently scrolling through the buy one, get one 50% off section again, just to see if there are any other books that I may have missed. And my TBR, it is growing. I want to like redo this because I don't like how it looks in my notes, but it really is just like a temporary holding area before I move it over to my reading journal. But that's kind of what we got going on there. Whew. The TBR, it is growing real fast. It's about 3 o'clock now. I feel like I probably have like another half hour or so before the hubby gets home. So I'm gonna use that time to dive back into Anna Karenina.
used to think that for you I would've put it all on hold. Now I'm playing in the sand till it turned to gold. Midas hands, but we all grow old. Can't have my soul, let my heart turn stone. Guess I gotta say it twice, it ain't my fault. Every little thing got a price, that's what I thought. That's what they taught. Yeah, I'ma take my chance till I drop. You know this ain't the time for the two of us. Ooh, I ain't got space to be thinking about growing older. Done my thinking, me and you. Yeah, guess it's over. It was a rainbow, but we're sinking. Lost my hue. I might come running back when our hearts get back on track. When the stars line up, that's that. I've been attached, just looking out. We move so fast, was moving south.
So Oblonsky just said something that really rubbed me the wrong way. He said something to Levin about Levin's current situation. This is after they went hunting with Vasinka, and like, I don't think we should be so what's the word? I don't know. I just don't like that Oblonsky said what he said on page 590 if you have the book.
Got me going deeper than Amari when that ball snap. Heard you sold your soul on Macari, got you call lacking. Now I'm next door at the party while you jaw jacking. You know it's Rashad in the rarest in the raw fashion. I'm still trying to figure how this all happened, huh?
You know this ain't the time for the two of us.
We're back and it's Monday. A whole weekend has come and gone, and unfortunately I just didn't film all that much. On Friday, I went in for my second Novavax shot. Based on my overall positive experience getting the first shot, I wasn't really anticipating experiencing any side effects for the second round, but that's exactly what happened. I had pretty bad body aches, and both of my shoulders, like across my chest, felt sore. That was something that I did feel the first time as well, and I felt just completely depleted of energetic resources, as well as some nausea. This morning I did have a flare-up, and I'm not sure if it was a side effect or if this is related to something entirely different, but I had these red splotches all along the sides of my face and down across my neck into my chest. But that's why I'm not wearing any makeup right now. I decided to not put anything additional or unnecessary on my face after seeing like all the redness. It's actually calmed down quite a bit. On the upside of things, I have made a lot of progress reading Anna Karenina. I believe I am less than 100 pages left. So we are getting tantalizingly close to just finishing up this story. I was so very much wanting to finish this book so that I could dive into another story, but now I feel a little bit of sadness. I think it's going to be a very bittersweet ending finishing up this book, because I've grown to love these characters quite a lot since the beginning of this vlog. The book has become that much more interesting and has picked up so much. The last passage that I read involved the medium, and he comes in and he does his thing and kind of makes a very important decision that will affect Anna. That chapter irritated me, but I'm also just very eager to see how this all plays out, because it feels like what the medium decided is pretty much like that's it, and that's how it's gonna be. I don't know, but we're gonna finish this today in this vlog. Before we get to reading though, I wanted to talk about this app that I came across on TikTok. And of course, being the deranged scroller that I am, I didn't save the video that this app was being talked about in, but I did download the app, and it's called Libby. So I thought it would be fun to kind of explore together. Let me know if you guys have heard of this app, and if you have, please feel free to drop any tips, because I'm quite intrigued. What I understand from this app so far is that it essentially works as an e-library. So you can borrow these ebooks and audiobooks for free just like you would in a physical library. And that's something that I have been missing since childhood. I was fortunate enough to grow up in a community where they had this massive public library, and my dad would make it a point to drive me there every week, sometimes multiple times within the week, so that I could go check out books. I just have so many fond memories of that. But fast forward to today, I haven't really connected with any of my community's public libraries. That is something that I looked into over the weekend, being bedridden and all, but it just hasn't really been a part of my life as of late. So I feel like this app is really going to scratch that itch for being able to access a public library, but through my phone or my iPad, really any smart device. So it's pretty exciting. So the first question is, do you have a library card? Not yet. Most libraries let you sign up at your nearest branch. You can even get a card online at many libraries. It only takes a minute or two. Let's go looking for library branches near you. It's showing me a map of public libraries that are in my area. And like I mentioned, I haven't connected with any of these public libraries before, so I'm looking at the ones that are near me. All right, so you can add a library card for this library system, so you can borrow titles and place holds. So this is interesting. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. And it's showing these titles here. I actually want to read Gone Girl. I saw someone talk about it, and I have not had the pleasure of reading it. Yeah, so it's showing me all these books, and you can borrow, read a sample of it, or tag it. I don't know what tag is. Let's read a sample of Gone Girl. Oh, I like this. I like this a lot. I like that it's I don't know if it's just because I have it set this way on most apps on my phone, but I like that it has the dark screen instead of it has the white text on the dark screen instead of the black text on the white screen. I don't know why that's so hard for me to articulate right now. Okay. Nick Dunn, The Day Of. I skipped ahead. This is page... Oh, how do I look at the page? This is page 22 of a 68-page sample. I am a fan. The only thing that I'm a little bit weary about in terms of having an ebook system is that I don't want to spend a lot of time on my phone. I already do that as a content creator. I spend a lot of time on my phone, on my iPad, on my laptop, just a lot of time in front of a screen. So having a physical book just brings a lot of balance into my life that I feel like I was lacking. It gives me so much joy to feel the pages and to hold the book, the heft of the story in my hands. I feel like maybe I've talked about that before. So that's the only caveat that I see to working in something like this, but this is cool. Ready Player One, I would like to read that. So this is an audiobook, I think. It says play sample.
Random House Audio presents Ready Player One by Ernest Cline.
Oh,
Read for you
cool.
by Will Wheaton.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone my age remembers where they were and what they were doing when they first heard about the contest. I was sitting in my hideout watching cartoons when the news bulletin broke in.
I'm having so much fun, and I feel like I haven't really spent a whole lot of time in this app, but it's just what a cool discovery. I'm here for it. Crazy Rich Asians. I like the movie, so I mean I would want to read the book. Okay, so here I am talking about the only The Secret History by Donna Tartt. We were talking about that earlier. I had that in my Barnes & Noble cart. So, okay, I guess I won't really know the full extent at which this app operates until I sign up for a library card, but maybe that's only so that I could basically place holds on books in physical libraries, because I remember there was something about that earlier. This is so cool, you guys. I'm so stoked for this. Thinking out loud here, while I said that I prefer physical books, I do see that there could be a benefit to using an app like this where maybe I am interested in a book such as The Night Circus, but it's not necessarily something that I feel like ready to go out and purchase and add to my collection. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but I know that I have books on my TBR that I physically want to own. I need it and I will go out and buy it. And then there are some titles that I would be interested enough to pick up and read, but I just don't know if it's worth making space in my life to bring into my collection. So using an app like this would allow me to sort of sample if I really like a book, and I can start reading it if I feel like, yes, this is something that I want to have and hold, physically, then I could do that. Oh, this is just, I'm so jazzed. And I am definitely going to be scrolling through this app a lot in the next couple days, but definitely the star of the show today will be Anna Karenina. And once we're done with that, I'm going to need your help in deciding what will be in my September TBR. I have a few titles in mind, but I would absolutely love your feedback and your guidance. Can we tell that I like this setup for my vlogs? I just feel more comfortable sitting at my couch, and this is where I have been doing a lot of reading, so I feel like it's very appropriate. It is the next day, it is Tuesday, and we are done with Anna Karenina. It has been a journey, let me tell you. I feel like I do want to talk a little bit more about my feelings around this book in my August reading wrap up, but just kind of thinking out loud, when I got to the last page, I had this feeling of like, wow, it's really over. Just all 817 pages, I think. I went through some emotions yesterday. I wasn't expecting to read what I did, but now I feel like I can understand and fully appreciate Rory's high school graduation speech in Gilmore Girls, where there's a very short mention of Anna Karenina, like riding a sad train with Anna. And in my last video, James, hi James if you're watching, had commented that he might be tempted to read Anna Karenina again, but it was also very sad. I get it now. And the last thing I'll say about this book for now is that I feel like I read it at the right time in my life. I started it in May, I think, and sort of dropped off. And just some of Anna's thoughts in here were eerily similar. And I think had I pushed through those times where I didn't feel like reading this and I read what I read, I feel like I would have interpreted it a lot differently. I have to save the rest of my thoughts for when I do my reading wrap-up video, so stay tuned for that. So I've read Anna Karenina in its entirety, and I ask for your help at this point because I need to figure out what I'm going to read next, and I have all of those books from that recent book haul that I did, and I kind of have an idea of what book I'm going to pick up next. I think it's going to be Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, just because I've already started reading it, and I think I'm 1 or 2 chapters in. It's still fresh in my mind, so I think this is gonna be my next read, but I could also go the route of Midnight Mass because I did finish listening to the audiobook of Priest, and yes, I do have the physical copy. Aren't they just gorgeous? I love these discreet covers that they did, just the aesthetic, and like, I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's beautiful. I also have both copies of Sinner, and the limited edition cover is just gorgeous. I'm not the biggest fan of these types of covers where it's pretty obvious what it is that you're reading, but I think this might be a little bit of an exception. Going off on a bit of a tangent here, but I will not read Sinner until I've read Midnight Mass because this is what follows Priest and is a continuation of Tyler's story. I think the allure of going into Midnight Mass is that it's quite short. I mean, just look in comparison, the length from Anna Karenina. We've got over 800 pages of a story here. And then Midnight Mass, let's see. This is about 180 pages. So if I were to go into this next, I could potentially finish it before the month is over, which is tomorrow. And then I could add it to my August reading wrap up. I also don't want to feel like I'm rushing. There's no deadline really to finishing a certain amount of books. It would just be self-imposed, and yeah, while I have some reading goals, I am kind of in a state of leisure and wanting to break away from this idea that I need to get something done. I know it's not about quantity, it's about quality. But there is that temptation to go into Midnight Mass. Again, I'm already familiar with the characters and the story, and I feel like while I haven't read the physical series, from listening to the audiobook, I anticipate that this will be a very quick read for me, and then I could go into Birthday Girl. I don't know. Birthday Girl, Midnight Mass next. Comment below to let me know what you think. I do have to make a decision today, so chances are I've already started one of these by the time you have seen this, but yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'd still be interested to know which one would you read next. But then what will come after that? I anticipate that both Birthday Girl and Midnight Mass will be fairly fast reads for me, and I feel like I don't really have a game plan for September other than here's a stack of books that I haven't read yet. So we have Where the Crawdads Sing. We've got Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. We have Verity by Colleen Hoover. And then we have The Deal by Elle Kennedy. See, it's like these types of covers. I wish that they had a more discreet version of this series, or just like, I'm not a fan of how they they did this cover. And then I also have Neon Gods by Katie Robert. And then of course, as I mentioned earlier, I have Sinner. Once I've read Midnight Mass, I feel like this is going to or should jump higher on my TBR list because I'll already be familiar with the world, and even though I'm meeting a new character, the style of writing and the storytelling I assume will be quite similar. So those are the books. What do I read after Birthday Girl and Midnight Mass? I was gonna say Midnight Sinner. What do I read next? I need your help. So comment below what should come after Birthday Girl and Midnight Mass. Yeah. Or if there's a title that you think I should add to my TBR, feel free to comment that below as well, because I am still getting myself familiar with the Libby app and I haven't borrowed anything yet. It's still a little confusing to me how this whole thing works, but I do need a library card. And so far, the local libraries that I've checked, you have to go in person to fill out an application. So I'm probably not going to be able to do that until later this weekend. I'm not even sure if I'll be able to do it this weekend, to be honest. I know that there are some libraries that allow you to do your library card application online. So I'm going to check a few more local libraries to see if I have that option. But I did watch a TikTok yesterday of someone explaining the Libby app just because I felt like I needed more clarification. And her suggestion was to sign up for as many library cards as possible. That way you have a greater selection of books to choose from. I'm not sure I want to go that route yet. Maybe if I get a little desperate. But I'm excited to have this resource because yeah, I'm in my bookish reading era and it's wonderful. It's been a nice little escape from everything that's been going on in my life. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications. That way you don't miss any of our videos here. And if you did enjoy it, please give this video a like and feel free to share it with another friend who you think might also enjoy it. I do my best to upload here every Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. I might be a little bit wobbly with that schedule or, you know, on and off here and there, explanations to come, but I have tons of videos on this channel, so feel free to scroll through them. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I really appreciate it. Please take care and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.